Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 6, coming into some new battles with this Demacia number here. And this deck is kind of in response to just how popular Gnar is these days. And so what we typically see out of all the Gnar decks is they're going to be playing Conchologist, they're going to play Gnar, they're going to play Pokestick. They're probably going to be playing the Gnar Stun, and then depending on the other additional flavor, they're going to have a bunch of other just like small 2 attack kind of units. The Nar Ziggs style things will be playing the aggressive 1-drops. They all have that landmark generator that deals damage to face. The kind of Yumi-ish versions, not with Yumi, but whenever they have Targon, they'll play the things like Loping Telescope. The versions with Yordles in arms, I'll play like the kind of Loping Telescope style. And then at the end of the day, though, they tend to all just be playing very small units that aren't Gnar. And so we're trying to take advantage of the small units in 2 ways, right? We're looking to control the board with bigger stats than them. And so the big stat boosting kind of things we have would be the Vanguard Bannerman, Cytheria when she attacks, Poppy when she attacks. In addition to that, we have a little bit of additional boosting from Lulu and Young Witch. But the big kind of idea we have here is we don't want to be like playing Penitent Squire and then just trading it with a Conchologist. The idea we're really pushing for is we just sit and stall on the board. Maybe we get to shut down their board with the likes of Broadwing, Suppressor, and Vanguard Defender. And then once we have a bit of time to get the big board, then we can juice it all up with the Bannerman or with Poppy. And now their Conchologists are no longer trading with anything. And so that's, kind of their big way to take advantage of combat-based decks is you play Conchologist, you trade it with your opponent's 2-drop, and then you're still up a card because you drew off the Manifest. And so we're trying to shut that aspect of their deck down by AoE buffing all of our units with the Bannerman, the Cytheria, the Poppy. The other angle that this deck has going for it is the likes of Stony Suppressor. If the Gnar deck itself is going to be like Herder, I'm gonna play a Pokestick on your 1 health unit, and then I'm gonna play whatever I generated off of Conchologist, at least punish them for it. And so by making the Pokesticks cost 3, it at least makes it more expensive than the unit that you just played. And so this will at least find you a lot of combos to where you either just completely shut down all the spells that they're able to play. It finds them in a space to where they have to spend like 3 extra mana on spells to where they can't actually get up on board. And all around shuts down their strategy quite nicely. And so Stony Suppressor quite good there. And then the other kind of like combo-y style things that we'll see their units are all small, so Cytheria can take them down. We can do this stuff like Vanguard Sergeant getting boosted by Bannerman, and now the Sergeant can be bigger than Gnar. The Vanguard Defender is all around pretty powerful against these decks. He can survive against Conchologist, so you can't interact with it with Pokestick. All in all, pretty powerful type bro. And so, yeah, that's the kind of the general idea here. We're not trying to make trades early. We're trying to stall out the board, trying to get a big board, and then boost it as much as we can with these units to take over in the big combats. And so, that's it. That's the stones on that one, if you will. And let's get ourselves a few games in, see if we can battle with Gnar a little bit, battle with not Gnar a little bit. And see, this is another space to where we did design our deck with Gnar in mind. Like, this isn't the style of deck that's going to come out here and be like 70-30 against Gnar, but I feel like it should be a slight favorite. But still having things like Stony Suppressor against this like ultra spell heavy deck should be pretty decent for us. And so against like this Zoe type number, I think I just want to hang on to the Broadwing, and then we're going to look for some other good interactive elements. So if we need to hook Zoe on turn 3, we can do it with the Broadwing. We can start shutting their spells down now that we picked up the Suppressor. Looks pretty decent to me. All right, let's see if he brings it at us. It's been brought. Your Nightfalls are more expensive now, my dude. Ooh, that was a big draw in the Fleet Feather Tracker. Now, if we get to come out here and pull off some quick attack challenges, be very nice. Also, Young Witch ready to do some blocking onto Zoe. I almost spit water all over myself. That was pretty nice. But alright, this should just be momentum here. I'm willing to get the suppressor into combat. It's very tough for them to be able to interact with it, right? They're not going to have any like real damage spells. If they do, it's not going to be something that can take the suppressor down. Right, he can't play a Pale Cascade here. Then Lulu makes an appearance. I'm pretty tempted with the hand in the board state like this to just play like Lulu this turn. Then next turn we can just like add Broadwing and maybe make a Golden Aegis play. Oh, look at that! He had to spend the Mystic on our suppressor. That feels pretty good. I don't think we need to worry about our health. We'll have a much higher quality attack when it rolls back to our turn. Little dangerous not taking the open, but if we get like 2 high-powered challenges off of this board, then that feels really good. Like at this point, we at least have a quick attack challenge and a Lulu hook into here. Kind of depends on what he plays afterwards, but if we just trade Lulu for something that's fine, Lulu will flip on this attack anyways. So that's pretty choice as well. So yeah, so now we should be reasonably well lined up for a Golden Aegis attack. I'm a little like suspect of what he's doing here since he just didn't play any cards, but it should just be like a single removal spell or something. Okay, same thing. It's an interesting space, though, right? We're still planning on playing the Golden Aegis. Where does this get us in? Do we just win this game? We're a little short. We can hook the Dustbringer with the Petricite, but then we can only do 4. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 4 from Lulu, up to 9, 10, 11. We're 1 damage short. And so it's like, do we want to boost the health on the Broadwing? Like, is that our target for the Golden Aegis, or do we want to just chunk in all this damage? I think I'm going to go for the quick attack challenge with it. And then just chunk in the damage. So we'll get the 10 damage in total this turn. Then hopefully we can... hang on, we don't even need the quick attack. So hopefully this way we can just play Cytherea on their turn, then open and blast with Jarvan as well. I think we might have done it. We might have won ourselves a game of Legends of Runeterra. Okay. That Aphelios is on the cheap. So what's he going to pick up off of this? I mean, he probably needs to be picking up the summon a 2-cost unit, but let's at least protect our board a little bit. I think, like, if our plan is to just hook Aphelios with Jarvan, let's just protect our young witch. I mean, I really don't think he's going to pick up +3 damage here. I guess there is a world where he tries to pick up lifesteal. But if he wants to lifesteal, we have a barrier block. But I think the vast majority of the time, this is just a summon a 2-cost unit. He's like, so much can go wrong if your angle is the lifesteal. Two cost, you got it. It's like, I guess he's going to be hooking something, but let's just go ahead and play Cytherea. I don't I don't care. You can you can hook one of our small units here. It doesn't matter. Got him. Been boomed real good. Okay. All right. How about that? We won a game of Legends of Runeterra. But cool. Yeah, I mean that was a very good game. I've been like really impressed with the likes of Stony Suppressor these days. It's just even if it's not like a complete shutdown, which it rarely is, right? You're not just gonna completely ace everything your opponent's doing, but as this guy wants to, play gems, and the gems cost 2 mana instead of 1, it just shuts down so much of what they're able to pull off. So here, we'll keep the Squire, we'll keep the Vanguard. I do worry about like the size of our units with this style of start, but I don't want to hang on to Lulu if we don't have a challenger to go with her. So let's search for a little more. Yes, we're about to make a banner, but that's a very expensive line.
They appeared out of nowhere.
So their turn 2 plays Mountain Goat. I don't want to play the Vanguard Defender and then just trade it with Mountain Goat. So let's just stall for a turn. Ooh, no play. Interesting. Says, I got nothing, bust. And we need a booster so bad. I'm not going to get involved with this dragon. I don't want to... yeah, I was going to say, he's probably just has to play the Pale Cascade anyways, but I don't want to be trading out units here. No boosters. We hit all width, no boosting. So we're just going to have to build up to a 4 Demacia 2 turns from now. I wonder if we pass, if they'll pass. Like, he's going to want to play a spell. Okay, he adds Tarek. We can't interact with him. It's a little unfortunate.
I ran as fast as I could.
Okay, we'll just stop here. Little scary. Little scary. So what happens if we play the 4 Demacia, right? It's gonna... what do we have? We're gonna have a 6/7 out of the Vanguard Sergeant, which is reasonable in front of Tarek. And then we'll have a 5/5 that we would just have to spew in front of the White Flame. But a Vanguard Defender could live through that. Just like, do we ever win the game if we start doing this stuff? Probably have to, though. We can't... Like, if we just take this hit here, then he doesn't even have to win the combats on his next attack. He just needs to not die. And Cythria. A little unfortunate. I thought that we were going to have an extra point of mana so that we could play a Vanguard Sergeant and then come in with another unit, but sometimes I'm not very good at math. Ooh, Concerted Strike. This will do 2 plus 3. He's going to need another card. Definitely a world where he has another card here to protect, but we got to have something go right at this point. Yep. Ugh. Okay. So now we're just at this point. We at least shouldn't die to his next attack. And then we're just going to have something go right with the 4 Demacia plus Golden Aegis play. Be cool if he just like opened and didn't didn't play any more cards, just opened. This feels unfortunately like the space where they drop Pantheon, but where will we be at next turn in terms of mana? Right, if we need 10 to make that play, we need 12 to do it through Stony Suppressor. We won't have enough mana for that. Okay. I'm about to take this damage. Uh-oh. Ooh. I gotta cancel that statement. How much we looking at? Stop showing animations. Your animation's stupid, Tarek. You have a stupid animation.
You don't understand.
Okay. This is pretty bad.
Approaching the battlefront.
I don't think we can get out of this. I mean, this is as good as it gets. Oh, we have one. Man, I got to get better at adding. It wouldn't be like well, it might make all the difference having the Fleet Feather Tracker on board, but I'm so bad at math. What's this one? A concerted strike? Sure. I don't even want to see what they are. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that was a bit awkward as a with like the three Bannermans, the two Poppies, and the Cythrias, and Cythria showing up at kind of the awkward time. We were just never able to get any advantages with our width. So here's a 2/2. All right, we got that big Stony Suppressor draw. I'm usually like reasonably happy to hang on to Bannerman, so let's just shuffle away the Sharp Sight. We shouldn't need that type of interactivity here. See what happens.
Help! Somebody help! I must
Boom.
stop.
So here, like, we don't want to be trading, but he does have access to that that 3/2 that when it strikes, it grows. I was going to say that's like one of the few cards I would come in here and actually trade with. Never trading with Conchologist. And we did just actually pick up this big quick attack challenge package. And so I was going to take the hit from the 3/2 if that's what it came down to, since we did pick up the package here. Okay. So still have good attacks with the Young Witch. But if we didn't have good Young Witch attacks, then we would just pass. Again, we don't want to trade. I don't want to trade the Squire for the Conchologist. I want the Bannerman to hit the Squire, and then we get to attack over top of it. I wonder how much that just messed with his plans. I wonder. Yeah, the 5 mana darknesses. Oh, I thought we missed. I saw the animation start to roll, and I thought we just completely whiffed on that one. Okay.
Just a little farther.
Here comes the squad.
Persistence is key.
Sure, I was gonna say that Vagar probably has to block. What up, Poppy? This thing's annoying. Can't play the darkness, but how good are his attacks? And the downside here is like we can play Bannerman, but it's I guess with the Bannerman hitting, the Vanguard Defender becomes a good block. Gotta be kidding me. Darknesses are going to be 5 damage next turn. Oh, that's insane. We have to put like some points of damage onto this, otherwise he's going to get 3 usages out of it instead of 2. What a brutal spot, though. Well, we're drawing a Young Witch or a Lulu. We've only got 3 copies of this shit in our deck. So we can't play Poppy, it'll just get popped. Maybe we have to accept that. Let's start with Lulu. Maybe he'll try and take her down instead. Okay. Get some of that Poppy protection now. She'll boost the suppressors, but are these suppressor attacks even good? Well, we probably... I mean, it's unfortunate to lose them. We probably have to hold back. His blocks aren't good on the other units that are coming in. He'll get, like, the one big boost off of the 4-2, but it just doesn't feel good to throw away the suppressors at this point. That's going to be his comeback mechanic. What a disaster that Bannerman miss was, though. Insane. He's even premium, right? I mean, come on, Riot. The card is premium. Alright, rip Poppy. Frustrating. Probably lost this one at this point, but we can still do something like pick up a Jarvan or a Cytherea and make a big attack happen. Punching him down to 4? Is that where that was going? Oh boy, a Vengeance. Alright, well, if he just plays plays an irrelevant dude, say he plays an 8-drop do nothing, we might be able to do something here, but does not appear to be the case. We might technically have a lethal turn up with a sharp sight. Right, that would get us 9 mana at or 9 damage at open speed. Okay. That's an ultimately frustrating one. I feel like we would have easily taken that one down if that Bannerman didn't miss, because right, that's where the thing snowball. Right, we could have blocked the Xtali without losing a unit. Then going into the next turn, he can then trade the Xtali, but he's down 2 more health on it, and then his 3/2 doesn't trade with our other units, and we completely lost our snowball with that set of cards missing. It's kind of one of those spaces as to where I'm not sure if Lulu really brings enough to the party to warrant that kind of danger, and if we shouldn't just take out the Young Witches and the Lulus and then just play Lucians. It's a tough space for me. You still have like the ways to give Lucian challenger with the umbrellas. You do have to accept that he's just never going to flip, but then you also you lose out on the quick attack challenges you get from the young witch. It's tough. All right, coming to battle against the old Gnar deck. I'm not the hugest fan of things like Fleet Feather Tracker and Sharp Sight against these things. They just don't interact well with their early package. I'll keep the Penitent Squire just to kind of like prevent us from getting overwhelmed in the early game, but it's not a start I'm like really excited about. All right, no one from opponent. Now we have to just make the decision: do we want to play the Stony Suppressor and get that the kind of slowdown on his hand, or do we want to go with like a Broadwing into Lulu style play? Depends on what he drops here. If he just passes to us, then I'm pretty tempted to just go for the Broadwing Lulu. Or if he plays a 2/2 here, I'm also pretty tempted just to go for the Broadwing. But we'll see. What you got for us, my dude? The disconnect? Does he say, "Oh no, I'm playing Narzigs and I don't have a 1 or a 2"? I'm just gonna be mad and get out of here. Drops the Conchologist. Okay. So we do also have the options here of where we just like open onto the Conchologist. Our bird doesn't die. And then we could potentially get the Stony Suppressor going. I think I like this. Picked up a Bannerman as well for next turn. So how do we feel about actually putting the Tattered Banner on the Suppressor? Since we're not going to have mana anytime soon. Okay. That'll at least kind of cancel it. I'm not going to get to drop the banner now, but I definitely want to keep this unit on board, keep the Broadwing around when we have the Lulu in hand. Just her ability to heal it right back up gives us really good combats.
Let us take a peek at life beneath the waves.
And this is kind of one of these interesting spaces. We aren't getting to do it here, but what you'll see oftentimes coming out of these decks is they'll wear you down and then try to pop you with a pokey stick, and then if you get to like open Bannerman onto the Broadwing, you can stop a lot of the pokey stick action. But here we don't have the stats to properly interact with this Gnar. I think we'll just have to take the damage here, and then we can just kind of shift into that play next turn. So he's going to get the Gnar flip. He'll get the pokey stick in hand, and then next turn, where does that leave us? I don't really like it. I think I'm just. I think well here's our angle, right? We can't just block Gnar. I think that'll be the safe way to go about it. We can't have this Gnar flip.
One banner, one destiny.
Okay, so the idea is I just put the Bannerman down. This is just a matter of mana efficiency. And then next turn, surprised to see the Conchologist come in. I'm going to say next turn, we're just going to try and take Gnar down with the Broadwing plus Lulu.
Approaching the battlefront.
But this is kind of the idea behind these defenders, right? Assuming he didn't have this like weird setup where he missed some early plays, they start off with like the 2-1 that generates the landmark. He gets shut down by the defender. The conchologist gets shut down by the defender. It's just like the vast majority of the plays that they have outside of Gnar gets shut down by the defender. And then Gnar's pokey sticks don't do anything to him either. And so he is a little unfortunate if we don't have a way to boost him. But like this is just a great board for him. He interacts with the stone stackers very nicely. I feel like this is going to be a Gnar stun onto the Petricite Broadwing, but then the rest of our attacks are okay, right? This is the idea of what we're trying to pull off here. Is their only like attack up stuff is usually pokey stick. They don't usually play a lot of the Noxus based combat tricks. And so it's tough for the stone stackers or the conchologist to actually take our Lulu down here. And he can take her down with pokey stick, but that's a pretty big mana investment. All right, so Gnar down. And man, it's so weird. Like we'll run into like some of these games to where we just like draw way too much top end, or we don't have enough board for the Bannerman or for the Poppy to pop off. But it's like we run into boards like this, and it's like I would just love to have Jin Vivi. She's not in our deck for certain, but just loading up on all these stats here. Vanguard Sergeant was a great draw. So this is the space, like, I don't think he can attack with anything but the Gnar, right? Gnar is definitely getting an attack in here. But it's a little awkward in terms of he can just block all of our stuff next turn. He's never attacking with these smaller dudes. May not even attack with Gnar here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this be like a pokey stick to face. Wow. He is bringing it. I mean, our blocks like this are good. Do we ever want to just, like, keep the flip from happening? Well, I think we'll just take the damage here. He can, like, most certainly force a flip if he wants to. I guess, like, the downside to that is, like, say he wants to play a Brother's Bond here, and we blocked Gnar, then he wouldn't have the mana to send Pokey Stick to face. But Pokey Stick's Lulu. Why? Is that for a Scorched Earth? I mean, he can have any of the spells since he played Conchologist, but I would think that that's a Scorched Earth. See if he wants to bring the... Oh, interesting. He didn't Pokey Stick our Bannerman. I guess he can wait and save that until the 4 Demacia is on the stack. Oh, Jarvan? Oh. Boom. Got him. Nice. Mark it a W for team FTP bust. We did it. The game has been won. All right. Off to the next battle. But yeah, I'm at least glad, like, we would talk about a lot of expedition games, just being glad we got, like, the one in to where, you know, things kind of happened that were important and the ideas we were trying to express actually happened. And that's how I kind of feel about that one. I feel like the stuff we were trying to pull off actually came together and worked. But not a bad start here. Again, like we have the suppressor to get the shutdown on the Pokey Stick, unless he just like open Pokey Sticks our tracker on turn 2. Not looking to make trades with this tracker, so if he plays a 1-drop, we're just going to pass. And then hopefully the suppressor will get a little bit of board control here. Right, this is like another one of these boards to where we really hype up that Vanguard Defender. It just shuts down all of their ones and all of their twos. Let's just come in and do our board control thing. So how do we want to go about this? I mean, I think if he has the pokey stick for the Young Witch and has to spend 3 mana to take it down, that's a win. Okay. So if he has a Troll Chant, he has a Troll Chant. We're still going to go for the Quick Attack Challenge here. I think he has a play the majority of the time. But, yeah, same thing. This is the 3 mana for the Pokey Stick. I think this is okay. And the Sharp Sight comes in. Interesting. I like it. So he shouldn't be able to give bonus attack, right? He can do like Troll Chants and shit to make his unit not die, but he should have trouble making his unit win. Okay, and then we have a couple of incoming options here. Very suspect. Oh, he did damage to faces. I guess very suspect that he's going to come out here and drop Gnar on this board as we have like complete control over it. But that makes a little sense. So I think we just go with the Bannerman out of this one. The Poppy's never going to get to attack through Gnar. Well, you could like hook Gnar with the Broadwing, but I think we want to just preserve our board here. Unfortunately, the Young Witch boost does not apply to the formidable units. He does not quick attack for 5 damage because he's been Young Witched. Do we ever? I can't imagine we sent the Bannerman in here. So how do we feel? I guess if he doesn't open, right? How do we feel about playing Golden Aegis onto our Stony Suppressor? I'm like little okay with it, especially now that we drew Jarvan, but it's not going to be fantastic. Interesting. How like this is just totally getting lined up for a 1 damage AoE, right? But we're like starting to fall pretty low in health. I mean, should we ever be putting like the 1/4 in front of the Chemist and then trading out onto the Tusk Speaker? It's like I know that like playing Freylord, they're going to have access to AoEs, but do we ever have to worry about it? Because I mean, this attack is like so suspect if he doesn't actually have them. Okay, swing it around. There it is. Is he going to have multiples? Why would he just play the 1? He's going to have 2. Okay, and he plays giant unit here. Does this one AoE everything? Fuck. Oh, this is so bad. Because now the Jarvan doesn't kill the Giga Grump. Oh, well, does he get the bonus from Cythria? Yes, okay. What a brutal AoE. I mean, we read into the one AoE so nicely. That second one was fucking savage. We're going to get blown out of this game now. We're in no space to have multiple Golden Aegisuses. It's getting the big values out of the Poke Sticks. Damn. Like, we can handle the one, we just can't handle the two. Sure. Frown Town. You know what that would have been a good place for? Vanguard Defender. You're right. You answered that one with much skill. And you did a good job. You did a good job. I'm proud of you for recognizing where the Vanguard Defender would have been good. But man, that's so unfortunate to be able to like read into exactly what's about to happen and then just not be able to do anything about it. Now, I know for a fact this matchup is terrible. Against Lurkers, this is just... we do not function well against what Lurkers are doing. So, we'll try. You know, we're not going to give it up, but this is... and all of the playtesting I've done, the Lurkers matchup was the most abysmal of all of them. It's like you have the kind of the strategy of, right, you're trying to build up a board and build up all these good units. And then their units all just have like 9 attack anyways. So it doesn't actually play out. You can never just like straight up win a combat. Might get to here if he plays let's say if he plays the vulnerable style thing. But we'll take a hit this turn. We get to get the giant board together and then drop a Bannerman. And so maybe this will work out. Unfortunately, our birds won't survive this, but we still get to chunk in for an actual ass load of damage. That is the official amount of damage we will be doing on this attack. It is ass load. There's a world. Now that like I'm pulling this attack in, I wonder if he had like a Ruthless Predator, if he would have played it on the previous attack. Because this is looking like a space to where we just shouldn't be hooking the Chronomancer. I love seeing it. Either just naturally did it or he hit Pike off one predict. Love playing against Lurkers. Just let the salt brew up inside of me. Alright, so how are we going to do this next turn? Are we going to play Cythria or are we going to play 4 Demacia? I think this is a 4 Demacia turn. So we can add the Sergeant. He just, of course, never gets to block here. Can't play the Stony Suppressor, unfortunately, or we'll be a short on mana. Okay, wow. He's predicted into both Rek'Sai and Pike. Not bad. Alright, well, I guess we're allowed to do a little top decking of our own. Nice to find a unit we can drop on this board. Are you kidding me? Wow. Fucking insane. Literally has played 2 predicts. He's hit Pike on top twice and hit Rek'Sai on top once. It's fucking insane. Wow. Good job, dude. I thought that was like the matchup was coming together so nicely in terms of us actually being able to beat lurkers, and then for it to go down like that, it's just fucking insane. So boy, we've had some gems today. We've certainly had some gems. The Bannerman missing with the 3 off faction cards in our deck into the guy dropping just naturally hitting all of his pikes. Gotta love it. All right, we're over it. On to the next one. I think we played this guy earlier. Was this the guy we just played like a round or two ago with that hit us with the AoEs? Okay. Boomed us. Let's get on board. So we can get the... I don't think we'll do anything with the Broadwing. We can wait a turn, I think. I'm just not like excited about hooking in a conchologist. Alright, so this attack kind of sucks, but I mean, there's not a ton we can do here. Oh, he opens. Okay, I was gonna say it's like if he plays Gnar, Gnar's just gonna flip anyways, right? He hit us with the thing, whatever the thing is called, it hit us. But we're in a pretty okay spot now. We're gonna have 3 challengers next turn. We're gonna have double Broadwing, Fleet Feather, and then we'll play Poppy. So it should be a fairly tough space for him to start AoEing us. Really surprised we didn't see Gnar, though. So these things are unfortunate. It's gonna take a pip off of the Broadwing. And then of course... Oh, it's just the Nexus one. Okay. Still kind of painful for us, but we can't actually kill this unit. Can with Sharp Sight. So if we're gonna Sharp Sight, then we have to we have to leave the Fleet Feather Tracker at home. What you got for us, my dude? All right, well, we're bringing it. Some amount of things can go wrong here, but this seems fairly okay. Troll Chant, sure. So we still chunk in for most of the damage. You shouldn't have too much follow-up here. Okay. We are falling fairly low in health here. We have to worry about AoEs again. We've probably gotten like deep enough into the game to where if he's going to AoE the Stony Suppressor, it's just not that bad anymore. go let's go as big as we can on those terms. Which one are you? Are you 1 damage to all enemies? So we'll lose the suppressor in those terms. Well, we can Bannerman here. Okay, should be able to stay reasonably wide from Cythria. I do worry. Oh, that was an expensive play. And say I do worry about him being able to get a pretty big spell going here, but that should be close to doing it, right? Boomed him. Nice. All right, the 3 and 4. Unfortunately, I'm only going to have time for one more game today. I usually get in, well, I was going to say I usually get in about 8 or 10, and this one's going to be stopping at 8. But I feel like we've gotten to touch on a lot of the points here that we were trying to get across, so not upset about that. Weird, what is this? I haven't seen what the Zac attack is bringing at us with the Scion LeBlanc. I don't feel like playing against a LeBlanc deck. We really want to hang on to these Stony Suppressors, so I'm going to keep the Penitent Squire and then just go elsewhere. I guess like it might be reasonable to assume that his card is like Troll Chant, but no, he's playing Yetis. We can shut down the Tall Tales with the Stony Suppressor. Are we gonna boom it? Are we gonna boom the big play? No, he can still just play it next turn. He can still do it, but it'll cost him an extra mana to get that 5/5 on board. Yeah, we didn't get the total boomage on that. Not as much as I was hoping. We need no attacks. Oh, because he's got the snowman. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. We're gonna have to just like get ourselves into a good Jarvan space. So I'm thinking I just want to add the Vanguard Defender, and then we'll pass. And then we'll see what we can do in terms of like, do we have to for Demacia? Or can we wait? Oh, wow, getting all the Yetis, huh? Well, he just drew it that turn, right? Oof, this is bad. I don't think we're gonna do a lot better than that. We take 10. We did just pick up the Honored Lord, which we can put the banner on to hook this one, the 3 health one. We can use Jarvan to try and take down another one. But ultimately, at the end of the day, pretty scary. Pretty scary. Just drew a million cards. This is not what our deck is designed to do. Well, no, our deck is doing what it's designed to do. It just does not play well against Yetis. He says, "Oh, you're trying to put big units on board. Well, check this out. Check this out, my dude. I got a thing to show you." So Jarvan's gonna hook one of these. I think we just have to start attacking with everything. We're not winning this game otherwise. So at least the key with this attack is he only has one value block with the Enraged Yeti, right? If he wants to block with the Assessor, he has to take trades with it.
Let's see what you've got.
So we punch in for 5. If he has something like Troll Chant here, it is pretty abysmal. But one step at a time. Okay. This is very expensive. He has to spend the 2 extra mana for 3 sisters. Okay.
The trap is set.
Well, I've certainly seen things go worse. We may even find ourselves in a space here to where we boost Jarvan and then protect him with Ranger's Resolve.
Raise the banner. Lift our spirits.
Might actually work here. And then also, Ranger's Resolve also lets the 4/5 survive against a Yeti. He's tapped out here. This might go very good for us. Like, if we get to put the Fleet Feather Tracker in front of Enraged, Jarvan's gonna win and get a flip. Ooh, I mean, this is looking decent.
Who dares defy my will? I protect my own.
Demacian steel protects me.
And we just take 5. We only lose 1 unit in the process. Do we want to, like... I don't think we want to lose the unit. We're going to 4 Demacia next turn. Just messed this up, though. We should have put Jarvan in front of his Ancient Yeti. That was a little sloppy. We'd much rather him have a Enraged Yeti as opposed to that thing. Is the 4 Demacia better now? Like, he's going to get the good block onto Jarvan. How does this work? We 4 Demacia. We get in for, with our 2 smallest units, we get in for 12. Then we kill all of his units. Some of his blocks are bad because of Honored Lord. Okay. And I guess, like, we don't technically have to attack with Jarvan. Well, he can flip, right? We can hook something with the Honored Lord, it'll survive the combat, and then Jarvan will flip.
Show them our metal. Show them our metal.
Let's just correct this situation. let's just fix the wrong and go ahead and take the Ancient Yeti off of the board. Takes him to 1. I wonder if he has another 3 sisters to get the flash freeze onto the Honored Lord. Oh, goes for the damage prevention. Okay. All right. We might have turned this one around. I don't feel like we deserved it, but we might have done it. To the window. To the wall. Sweat drips down my balls. I can't help it. Jarvan. So how bad is this? Are we just dead to Scion? He's got 8. I'm not going to. I'm not going to hit him with the Cataclysm. If we block with the Vanguard Defender, this is technically 4, right? So we'll survive that by 1.
Stand strong.
In the name of our land. Or both if you've hurt him.
All right, did we do it? Okay, think we did it. Nice. All right, got us back to the break even. The old 4 and 4. Much better. But I mean, I think out of a couple of those games, though, right? We conceded that the Lurk matchup is terrible, and then I do feel like we would have, that would have actually probably been a win against the Lurk if we didn't run into that ridiculous collection of natural hits, and then there was also the Bannerman game that was pretty meh. But I think we had a pretty good run. And, you know, is this deck tuned to perfection? No. And is the ideas here completely strong? I could see switching away from some of this stuff, but I think a lot of the ideas here are pretty good, right? The first thing being, let's recognize what makes the Gnar decks good, and then try to attack that. And I think maybe like all of the stat boosting stuff might be a little bit too deep, might be a little bit too far along. I run into cases where like I love it and we snowball the boards and it's great. And then we run into these other times to where it's like, oh, well, I have one unit on the board with a Poppy and a Vanguard Bannerman in hand. And so I don't know if that's a function of the format or the way that I play or what, but that's been kind of the piece that I haven't been like really amped and really jazzed about. And I'm also like odd and get kind of like weirded out with these numbers in terms of like if we draw two golden Aegiuses, it's usually terrible. If you draw these hands like we had there earlier, maybe it wasn't earlier, maybe it was just a practice game where it was like we draw like double Cythria, Jarvan, golden Aegius, and you just lose those games. It feels like some of these numbers need like a little bit of tweaking. And then I feel like if there was just like one more 2-drop that was really good, then this would have the opportunity to pop off. And so, if you're trying this on your own, I'm not convinced that the Ionia package is good enough between the Lulu and the Young Witch. They do give you the really big snowbally draws, which is quite nice. If we're able to have these draws involving like Fleet Feather Tracker into Suppressor into Young Witch, and then getting the quick attack challenge on turn 3. That's incredibly powerful. The same stuff applies to Lulu, right? And her being able to boost up the broad wings. But on the flip side, we don't have the ways like to say discard a Flame Chompers and then Lulu up the Flame Chompers, right? Those draws are just like way more explosive than what we're capable of producing here. But some of the things I do like, even if it's not like at the end of the day in this deck, I think Stony Suppressor is in a pretty powerful place these days, right? At least against all of the Gnar decks. She has a tough time getting removed from the board, right? All of their interactivity comes from just attacking, and then attacking into her usually isn't that good. And then even if she comes down and blocks a 2-1, and then they spend a Pokey Stick on her and have to spend the 3 mana on that Pokey Stick, that buys you like tons and tons of time and is all around kind of nice. The other thing here, the Vanguard Defender is deceptively strong. I wish that we had another way to get him up to 3-3. Like just having a permanent 3-3 tough would be, pretty fantastic. But I think this is, even if it, doesn't belong in the deck and it's not like ultra powerful, I think that's at least, a nice point of analysis here that probably isn't super apparent, and that he should be pretty decent against all of the Gnar decks out here, right? He should be pretty decent against Bandle City. And I think that this, he might have been something that has gotten overlooked across time, since he is in general fairly weak. But as we see all of these Bandle City decks come about, you don't really want to just have to play a bunch of tough units because most of them suck. Ranger's Resolve isn't always as powerful as you want it to be, right? You don't really want to be Ranger's Resolving away on your opponent's like small plays, and just having it kind of built into the defender is kind of nice. And so I think, he might have a place. Probably should figure out a way to get a third Vanguard Sergeant in here, because the 4 Demacias are just so important and powerful. But, at the end of the day, I thought we had a good run here. I thought this was an interesting take on, if we're going to beat Gnar, how do we beat Gnar? Because I don't feel like anyone has really like cracked that code yet. I think, Darkness doesn't do it. Trying to be faster than him doesn't do it. I think attacking the spells with the Stony Suppressor, and then having not specifically having Vanguard Defender and all this unit growth is the answer to it. But even like with the Yetis deck we played there at the end, I feel like that is kind of the same idea and style that should be pretty powerful against the Gnar decks. You say, okay, well, you can't interact with me well. You're just playing a bunch of shitty units. I'm just going to play like these gigantic units, and I'm going to get like 2-for-1s and 3-for-1s off my gigantic units stats to counteract your 2-for-1s and 3-for-1s that you're getting out of Conchologists. And so pretty kind of interesting place there, an interesting space. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed your battles with Bust. You learned how to defend the Vanguard a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.